Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to be filming my April wrap-up. So do you guys remember when I did my April TBR and I said I'm not going to finish like any of these books because I'm too busy because I've got school and like fan fiction and stuff? Well, let me tell ya, I finished 6 books off of my like 9-book TBR shelf. I am so proud of myself. And now let's get on with it. Now give me like 1 second to pull out the stack. Yeah, you hear that? That's my shelf. Okay. I'm just gonna go from the top of the stack. So I read A Work in Progress by Connor Franta. As y'all probably have seen my review on that. I loved this book. It's basically about Connor's journey through his life, basically about like little childhood things to how he started YouTube to discovering himself and his sexuality. It was just an all-around amazing book. I loved it so much. If you haven't read it, go read it. And literally, I love the cover, and I love how there's so many pretty pictures in it. I love it. If you want to hear more things I loved about it, go check out my review for it. I will probably do an annotation, but if not, I'll just go to my channel and you'll find it. Next, I read Alienated. I don't remember if I did a review on this, but I read this book and it was amazing because there was this, I could relate to the character Kara. She's really intelligent and she's like really good at basically everything she does, and it bothers her when there's someone better at something that she's good at. So I could relate to her, and this is basically about the story of like an exchange student coming from another planet. And it's basically about like Kara's struggles with Alex and like the whole people who don't want the aliens to have anything to do with Earth when they're only trying to help. And I'm probably explaining this really, really badly, but it's a really good book and I loved it. Personally, one of the best books of this month. I also read Slated. This is basically the story of a girl who, her name is, crap, I even forgot her name, Kyla. But for most of the book I called her Kayla because I didn't know it was Kyla. But, this is about the story about Kyla. She's, a girl who when she was 16, her memory was wiped. That's what they called slated, because they started her off with a clean slate. Because most of the people who were slated were generally people who were criminals. Like criminals who were given a second chance. She was given a second chance because of her crime past, but she doesn't know about the past of her crime, but she does remember certain things that happened to her when she was a child, and she dreams about them, and they're nightmares because they're crimes. And like it leads on to her going home to a new family and trying to adapt to that, and she meets this boy named Ben, and all of her friends are slowly going missing. Like all of the slated are going missing, or anybody who talks bad about the government and what they're doing to the slated, they go missing. And basically her search of helping Ben go off and try and help find them, and they meet some other characters along the way, and it's really great. I loved it. I also read, at the beginning of the month, I read Beautiful Creatures. This book, I liked it. I didn't particularly love it. Like, it was a good book, but it wasn't, like, my favorite of the month. Like, I just don't know how to feel about it because like it kind of had a lot of dry spells. It was 500 pages that didn't really need to be there because most of like that, like this entire middle section really did not need to be there because it just kind of dragged on. It was kind of slow. But it's basically a little summary of the story. It's about this boy named Ethan Waite who lives in a small town in Alabama. I've been reading a lot of books based in like the South and like Alabama and like the Middle West. But basically about this kid who lives in a small town, and this girl comes in who is the niece of the most hated guy in the town, and she's treated horribly at school because of who she's related to, because everyone thinks her uncle is like a creep, and it's like, and she's kind of used to it, but not because of her uncle, but because of her magic powers. And it's really cool. And don't go see the movie. The movie is such crap. It's such a flop. I hope they reboot that. But this book is really good. I did enjoy it, but I didn't particularly enjoy it as much as anything else I read this month. I also read Eleanor and Park. I'm just gonna cover up the fact that it's a signed copy. But Eleanor Park is this like 80s kind of story, contemporary novel about these two kids who have completely different personalities and completely different lives who met on the bus and fell in love. And no, it wasn't love at first sight. It was more of, oh my god, what is this girl doing here? She's not dressed like everybody else, and like a whole misimpression because he didn't even know her. He didn't even start talking to her until she started reading over his shoulder about comic books. And it led to lots of amazingness, and it's kind of got this whole, like, Rainbow Rowell has this way of writing where they all have parental struggles. Like, Eleanor has this horrible relationship with her dad, with her biological dad, and with her mom and her stepdad. There's this whole bunch of shit that happens, and yes, I did swear, and I'm sorry, but there's just a whole bunch of stuff that happens to her, and like it leads her to have a bad experience, and it leads her to only want Park more when Park, like, he loves her, but she doesn't exactly want to say I love you like he does. And it's just all around pretty great, but it was kind of a little bit boring and dry in the middle. That kind of bothered me a little bit, considering there was like a whole bunch of there was a lot of point of view change, and that kind of bothered me because it went from Eleanor to Park to Eleanor and Park with like a paragraph in between. Like, I liked it in some points and some points I didn't, but it was pretty good. And we have Rubble Doll. And this is the story of how Harper Price, who was literally doing everything. She was student council president. She was the school board president, something like, I can't remember all. Like, she did so many extracurricular activities, and like she was all around amazing. She was nice, and she did everything to protect the school that she went to, and she made sure that everybody was happy and doing well, and everybody loved her except for this one kid named David. He hated her with a passion. He literally wrote in the school article about how horrible she was, and it all began without lip gloss. She had left her lip gloss at home, and she ends up having to go to the bathroom because she borrows her friend's lip gloss, puts it on, and then, like, this crazy, like, battle happens while she's in the bathroom, and once she turns around, like, she gets, like, kissed, I should say, by the janitor who is protecting David, whom she hates. But it kind of ends up in a crazy kind of story of how she ends up having to protect him, and it messes up her relationship with her boyfriend and her friends and everything, and it's just kind of insane, the whole story of this, but it is pretty good. I will say I enjoyed it because it was like contemporary mixed with fantasy, mixed with dystopian, mixed with like realistic fiction, mixed with like action, and I like that. Like, it was a good mix of everything. I can't wait for Miss Mayhem to come out. That's coming out like next week or something, like May 5th, I believe. It's coming out, and I'm super excited because I just read this, and it ends on literally the biggest cliffhanger ever. Like, the three kids are like going to go somewhere, and like we don't know what happens. They just know that they're gone, and it's crazy. Like, I loved it, and it was just fabulous. And see Miss Mayhem, it's coming soon. So soon. I'm super excited. And yeah, that's all the books I read this month. That's literally like almost all the books off my shelf. You're gonna see a very, very tiny April TBR or May TBR. It's gonna be May because I read like all of my books, and my parents won't give me a book haul. They won't give me one because because books are expensive, and we kind of have other priorities, like taking care of everything else. But hopefully I get a book haul soon, because I should be getting one because I got really good grades this semester, this 6 weeks, and yeah, that's usually what I spend my report card money on, are books and Starbucks. So yeah, I'm gonna go probably do a book haul soon if I get one. And I also got an exact 10-minute mile, so my dad's probably going to get me a book because we have this deal of if I do like better than like the week before that, then I get like an under 10-minute mile, I get books. And so I'm getting books, hopefully, or else I'm going to be rereading baby books because I have nothing else to read. But both of the books on my shelf are pretty hardy books. Like, I'm currently reading The Book Thief, and that takes a while because there's a lot of like stuff in there, and this has probably gone on for a lot longer than it should have, but you will be seeing me a lot more because I have just wrote down some tag videos. And yeah, so that was my April wrap up. I love you guys. Mwah. I hope you guys continue reading and watching, and I love you. Mwah.